Before we get into the video, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. I mean, come on, what are you doing if you're not subbed to me by now? My content is fire, from stop motions, news videos, reviews, music occasionally. All my social media accounts are linked down below, and now, let's get straight to it. Okay, the news just keeps rolling on in this week, people. First thing here I want to talk about, we have concept art that was revealed last night by the director of Rise of the Beast himself, Mr. Stephen Caple Jr. He shared some of these images. First up, Optimus Primal close-up. Pretty accurate to what we see in the final render. I'm not sure if there are any differences there. Looks pretty fierce and menacing. There's a full body, or almost a full body shot right there. Pretty awesome. And then here is Scourge, which is seemingly his original design before it got redesigned during the delay. And this is obviously inspired by the control art and stuff like that. So pretty cool to see where the design sort of first began. And this is pretty cool too, but I kind of prefer what we got in the final version, which is pretty awesome. And then there he is without the mask on. And there are some slight differences in the head compared to what we get in the final version of the movie. So that it reminds me of like a Cenobite from Hellraiser mixed with some type of monster from Silent Hill. Like, that's all I'm thinking about when I look at this version of Scourge's head. It's pretty funny to me. And here is Battletrap. Obviously, another more control art Studio Series toy based design right here, which when you look at those Studio Series toys based off of these early renders before the movie got delayed and they changed stuff up, these are pretty spot on freaking accurate, except for a few things, you know? So it makes me appreciate the Studio Series figures just a little bit more, but I still wish we got more accurate ones. But this Battletrap design is still great. And then here's Nightbird. These concept arts / CG test renders seem to be, at least the ones with Nightbird and Battletrap, seem to be the ones that was shown off when Rise of the Beast was first announced to the world back in June of 2021. These look like these images that was shown off at that panel 2 years ago. So it's great that we're finally getting the official renders of these and not mock-ups from Laszlo and stuff like that, or blurry images that we've had since December. But Nightbird looks pretty cool. I'm not sure if I prefer it to the design we see in the final cut of the movie. I think I love them both equally. Like, I can't really pick between one. And then here's a CG render of Cheetor, which is obviously his earlier design before it got changed. Makes me appreciate, again, the Studio Series figure just a little bit more. I do want to pick that up at some point soon. And by the way, I can't wait for the buzzworthy Studio Series Prime to come out after seeing the movie. Optimus is easily a top-tier Transformers character, one of my favorite iterations of Optimus. But anyway, Unicron concept art here, which is pretty sick. He's eating some sort of planet. I don't know if this is supposed to be the Maximal's homeworld or Earth or some random planet, who knows, but this is pretty awesome. We get a closer look at Unicron's planet mode. I can't remember if there's anything, I think there is some stuff changed, like the blue all around him seems to be different sort of panels, so yeah, there's some differences there. And then here's Mirage. There's some more white / silver on him. There's less blue. It's kinda, I'm looking back at my Siege Deluxe Class Mirage to see if, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say the white and silver accents on this version are a bit more accurate to G1, but in the final design, I much prefer the more blue. It gives them a nice added color pop on screen. And the last thing here, we have a test render of Optimus Prime turning around in a dark setting where there's a bunch of New York City buses. A lot of people and myself are speculating that this could be a scene from Transit's fight scene at the beginning of the movie that is famously cut by now. We all know about this scene with Transit. Your guess is as good as mine. We'll find out in the coming months when we get that deleted scene on the DVDs and Blu-rays. So I'm hoping, because that head design for Optimus looks pretty awesome. It does look a tad bit awkward, like his head looks a bit long. It makes him look a little weird, you know, but I dig the length of the ears. Like, if you took the regular design that we got in the final form, but you give him the ears that we see here, that would be pretty cool. And then there's the yellow at the bottom there. That is evident in the control art and in the Studio Series figure, but I don't think it showed up in the final cut of the movie, but I can't really remember. But this design of Optimus, I'm surprised at how many redesigns there were in his CG model. But yeah, these concept arts and CG test renders are pretty cool, and I definitely want to see more. Hopefully we get a lot more. And via an Instagram story from Transformers toy designers Mark and BMac, we have it confirmed that Mark Mayer, who is, I believe, don't quote me on this, the lead designer at Hasbro's Transformers toy team, I'm not sure on that, but he seems to be the one that got Ape Link in the movie. He's the one that recommended Ape Link to be in the movie to get killed off in the beginning. So that is very cool. Good on Mark for wanting to include such a deep cut, get Ape Link the recognition he deserves. My boy Ape Link is a pretty cool character when you look him up on TF Wiki. He's got ties to the Wreckers. He's really smart. I think it was a great pick, you know. I don't think they could have picked anybody else better from the Beast Wars lore other than Ape Link. So kudos to Mark for recommending him and getting him in the movie. And the last bombshell of news I want to cover in this video, Entertainment Weekly had an interview with producer Lorenzo and the director of Rise of the Beast, Steven Caple Jr., and we have some new info. A sequel is sort of confirmed in this article, and we kind of have confirmation on Steven's vision and where he wants to take it in the sequel. So we have Lorenzo talking here, and then we have a couple quotes from Steven, I believe. So, you know, take what some of this is said, especially by Lorenzo here, with a grain of salt. We don't have a sequel officially confirmed with a title card yet, so don't get your hopes up too much yet. We still have to see how Rise of the Beast does in the box office. But anyway, let's get into this article. This is what Lorenzo starts off by saying: we're also not through with the Maximals, so I imagine in the next movie we'll have Maximals, Autobots, and Joes. I would like that. It's something a little bit different, a nice little twist on the Transformers and G.I.Joe crossover. We've never had Maximals in the mix. At first, if you guys remember, when I first broke the news a couple weeks ago when it was leaked that G.I. Joe would be the tease at the end of Rise of the Beast, I was a little bit skeptical. I was against this, but with how Steven Caple Jr. and even Lorenzo is talking, like, I can't really hate what Lorenzo is saying here. It's not like he's trying to pass this off as a prequel in this article. So I'm thinking that this might be handled well, especially if Steven comes back on for the sequel. I think this could be a good movie, like what we got with Rise of the Beast. And then it says here, Caple, speaking with EW separately, confirms he's deep into developing the Rise of the Beast sequel. It is definitely going to incorporate some Joe characters, but it won't go into maybe the true origins of the Joes. That is basically what I've been saying that they're probably going to do. G.I. Joe is going to be the compromised part in this crossover because this is still a Transformers movie. It's still called Transformers. This is not the Bayverse anymore, people. This is not where the military is taking the main focus and all that stuff. I mean, it still could happen. We don't know. This is still very early development, but it seems like Steven Caple Jr. really understands that this still needs to be a Transformers movie, and the G.I. Joes are just guests appearing in this movie. And Lorenzo, he says here, the idea of trying to do the whole Joe world at the same time is a little daunting. This is a way to bring them into our world, remind people of who they are, and they'll have a role in the plot. So he's confirming that it's a daunting task to bring Joes into Transformers, but I don't know why he feels the need to say this. Like, I mean, if that's how you feel, why even agree with Steven to include this into the movie? But, I mean, whatever, it is what it is. And the last quote that really stands out, this was said by Steven Caple Jr., And I quote, "There's a big mission at hand," he says of the story he's developing now for the sequel, heavily hinting that the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover will take audiences beyond Earth. "I think it's really cool that there are other planets out there with Transformers. It's one of the reasons why I introduced the Maximals that way in the beginning of our film." Capel continues, "I was pulling from these Japanese cartoons where there's Transformers on every other planet. I just feel like we've been on Earth for a very long time, so there might be something interesting to explore there. Maybe taking this war and battle somewhere else." People, in these next couple years, I'm telling you, we have to get on our A game and watch these Japanese Transformers cartoons. Me personally, I've seen bits and pieces of Beast Wars 2, Beast Wars Neo, and Victory, but seeing that this is probably one of Steven's main inspirations, it feels like he's trying to mix in a little bit of everything here, but mainly Japanese G1, American G1, Unicron Trilogy, and a little bit of Prime and animated sprinkled in. The sequel will mostly not be on Earth, and we're going to get introduced to a lot of different things. I'm thinking he's probably going to go the Beast Wars Neo route, I think it was, and the Predacons are going to have their own homeworld. The Maximals have their own homeworld. Who knows? There's 1,000 different ways they could take this. Since he's confirming that he's pulling from stuff like this, there are so many different iterations, different homeworlds and planets that they could take inspiration from, pull directly from source material. So this is really exciting, and this gets me really hyped for the sequel because it really feels like the G.I. Joe is just going to be like the shield of the Transformers universe, and it's not going to be in the forefront like some people were really worried about. But yeah, guys, that is all the news I wanted to cover in this video. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think about this Entertainment Weekly article? Do these details on the potential sequel to Rise of the Beast excite you anymore? What do you guys think about the news on Ape Link that Mark was the one to put him in the movie? What do you guys think about the concept art that Steven shared? Let me know down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Bye!